All right, I believe we are live. Hey, welcome everybody back to the Cadaver Club. I'm Ben. This was a stream that we were going to have hosted, or hold on, crap. Give me 1 second here. I gotta get the shit out of this shit.
Yeah, you can just mute your tab and that'll solve that.
Yeah, that was annoying and weird. Sorry about that, everybody. As I was saying, we were gonna do this live watch party stream over on Genome Presents channel. We've been doing the series where we watch all of the we're watching all of the old Hammer Dracula films with each other. It's me over Easy Mode, Anthro, Pomantic Fiend, and Genome Presents. Usually over on his channel, but his power's out, so we're doing it on mine tonight.
Yep.
And I see Creepy Cody's in the house. What's up, Creepy Cody?
What's up,
Cody?
So there's a link in the chat that will take you to the live watch link, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Go on.
No. It takes there's like a 10-second delay, so like whenever you want to start, I'll hit it, and then you guys can play it after that. And we should be all synced up after that.
All right.
Yeah, so we're sort of waiting to hear back from David to see if he's here, but his devices are not connected. He's in the broadcast studio. I think we'll give him a few minutes and just sort of like generally shoot the shit for a second here.
All right.
So yeah, anyway, how are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Great.
Spent most of the day uploading videos, just dragging things into the YouTube publishing thing and just watching them upload for 2 hours. So that was
man, you got that slow internet connection?
Oh, that's always fun.
I used to be able to just do it from iMovie and it would go super fast, but yesterday I tried to publish a video through iMovie and it just it was a 10-minute long video and it was I waited for 3 hours and nothing happened. Wow, so I just dragged it into the actual YouTube studio and made it work through that. And took longer, but worked better because iMovie is just weird right now.
I uploaded a video to YouTube once from work using the internet there. And it was a 3.5-minute video that uploaded in less than 15 seconds. I was like, what the shit? That is impressive.
That is very impressive.
Yeah, I was blown away. I was like, oh man. I mean, my internet's pretty fast, but it's not that fast.
Yeah. They have what, a T1 line or something like that? That's just zooming.
I don't know, probably some like top secret shit that no one's even heard of yet. I'm guessing. Some like alien technology that we've been working on or something.
Yeah. No, I've had problems with iMovie before. That's why I always just like export the file as a MP4, and then I upload it directly from that. And I have no problem with that way. But, yeah. All right.
Martin, I saw that you had uploaded Ghoulies Heart of the Night review, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yep. That's what I spent most of the day watching upload, was that Ghoulies review.
I have not watched Ghoulies since the 80s, man.
Wow.
It's been a long time. But I haven't watched it since we had like a slumber party at my friend's house in like 4th grade or something.
That had to have been a crazy slumber party.
Oh, they were always crazy, man.
First year crush alien tech. Yeah, I believe it.
What's up, Derek?
Hey, Derek.
Yeah. Fiber optics are reverse engineered from crash alien tech. Yep, I believe it.
I believe it too. But I think my company is the one that crashed that alien ship with our future tech. I'm not much mistaken. I guess we'll just give, like I said, for the new people in the chat, we're just hanging out waiting to see if David's going to join us before we start this. Yeah, I uploaded a video earlier. It was a video on my thoughts on if Jaws was horror or not. Where do you guys stand on that? You
It has
consider
elements. It has elements of horror, but
for sure.
It's not. I would say it's more of a thriller. But
It's fucking terrifying. It's the scariest movie I think I've ever seen, but I
really,
don't consider it horror. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't think it is a horror though. It doesn't have the the psycho moments. Well, I mean, I guess it does have elements of it, but not really.
I think Martin might be frozen, or he's just
Oh yeah,
still. I've broke Martin. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh,
Short circuit, man.
well, yeah. I guess he's having internet problems also. Wow, everyone's having problems. Today's not just a good day to like stream.
Yeah, I mean, there's like some crazy. I mean, I'm out here in California, so
Yeah.
it's 50 to 55 degrees outside. You know.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like,
I mean, I'm in New York, so it's like 30 degrees. So
yeah, man. I was messaging with people. They're like, "Oh, it's like 0 degrees." I'm like, 0 fucking degrees. That's like seems pretty cold to me.
Yep. Where are you in California?
I'm up in the San Francisco Bay Area. I live in Oakland.
Oh, okay, nice. Right.
Yeah, usually it gets a little colder. It was kind of rainy today, so I think the temperature rose up a bit.
I mean, isn't it always raining in that San Francisco area?
No, it doesn't rain that much. I mean, we get a lot of droughts. That's why we have all those fucking wildfires, you know?
Those fires, yeah.
Oh,
it's so weird because you guys are right on the coast, and you would figure you get a lot more rain. And yeah, I mean, Los Angeles has that problem, but they're in a valley, and that mountain just like cuts off all the like circulation. But
yeah, it's considerably warmer down there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but San Francisco, I would think it would get rained on all the time.
No, what's weird is like Daly City is still in San Francisco County, but it's inland a little more. It's a little further south.
Okay,
and that place is always overcast. No matter how the fuck sunny the rest of the state is, that place is just like perma overcast.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean we get like I guess maybe pretty decent breezes that don't like sort of blow shit by us, I guess.
Wow, we lost 2 guys. This is gonna be a dual stream, I guess. Let me see. I haven't heard from Dave yet. But
remade or redone? Oh, if it was done, do you think a new monster should be added? Changes made to the monsters. I mean, if they're gonna redo it, yeah, they gotta redo. They have to do something different, I think.
Hey, there's Anthro.
The internet did not eat me yet.
Okay.
Oh Jesus, I was concerned.
Yeah.
For those, yeah. I mean, more modern monsters. I mean, some of those monsters, like I wouldn't mind if they just omitted, like the Mummy or something.
What? I love the Mummy. Don't
you like him?
Or do him like he was in the 30s movie and give him the ability to speak and all these cool powers and make him all Boris Karloff-y, not just a shambling mummy.
Right.
Oh, what if they just got the same mummy from that Tom Cruise movie? Wouldn't that be awesome?
That I saw that movie in theaters. That movie is a guilty pleasure for me. I had fun with that one.
Oh,
I firmly believe that it should be called Monster Squad : This is Twilight, and then just have all the Twilight characters because you got a werewolf, you got a vampire. We need way more Twilight movies.
Oh God, are you really a Twilight fan? Really?
No, not really.
Okay,
yeah, I saw the first one. I had like a 9-year-old cousin who was like, "Oh, I love Twilight," and I'm like, "Twilight, is that vampires?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Okay, I'll watch it with you," and I watched it.
Oh, he says, "Can you resend the link?"
Oh yeah. It should just be chillaxing in the
Yeah, it should be, right?
But I'll do it again. I'm not afraid to be redundant. redundant. Boom. Mummy should be more powerful. I agree with that.
Yeah. And Dave's saying Imhotep from the Brendan Fraser movies. I would prefer Imhotep from the Karloff movie, but Brendan Fraser Imhotep's good too.
What if Brendan Fraser though was the main protagonist, but it was his character from Airheads?
From Airheads. Wow. Okay.
That would be a movie.
We're just getting weird now.
Yeah, let's just make it a crossover of everything, all the franchises.
I think that is true. It'll be like the Ready Player One of
monster movies.
Uh-huh. I mean, like Universal were doing like crossovers before other people were. They were like, let's have Frankenstein meet the Wolfman, and then they just got crazier with it, and then we ended up with things like Monster Squad because of that.
Yeah, but Monster Squad was really more of a kids' film. What was that, PG-13? It wasn't even like R or anything.
Yeah, no, but they swear constantly though. It's
they swear. Yeah. No, but that was a different era. That's when, like, what was that, 80s? So, they had nudity in the 80s, and that was still like a PG film. So different standards back then.
I remember when PG-13 came out. It was like it was shortly after the Temple of Doom came out, and I think that was one of the ones that really caused like a stir because there was a bunch of questionable stuff for children. It wasn't exactly a children movie with all the heart ripping and whatnot.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, if you ever seen the original Swamp Thing, like Adrienne Barbeau is like naked in there. She's got her breasts like, and that is a PG film too. So.
Yeah, I mean, G was different too because Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is G, and there is a very graphic image of a chicken getting its head cut off in the hell tunnel sequence in that movie. So
yeah, I've never seen that movie. Are you impressed?
Willy Wonka?
I didn't see the remake either.
Oh, I didn't see the remake, but the original is that is great. That is a great film.
I have the unpopular opinion that I prefer the remake. I think Gene Wilder is the better Willy Wonka, but I like Danny Elfman's music for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory more because he makes all the Oompa Loompa songs different instead of just being the same thing over and over, and he uses the poems from Roald Dahl's book, which I like.
Dave says, looks like you can't join. Have fun, guys. So that's where we're at. Okay. All right.
I guess so. Do you guys want to do the show must go on version of the watch party, or do you guys want to just stream for a bit and revisit this when he can watch?
I'm happy doing either thing.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
I'd say it's David's call, but if I'd kind of feel bad since this is his series, not watching it with him.
Yeah, I mean, we could postpone. We could talk about more horror stuff, more
let's do it.
Okay,
I'm down to still. Yeah, we'll stream. We'll pick this the watch party up.
Okay,
next time on day.
All right, it sounds good. Can you do it Wednesday? I know you were working or something like that. That's why you couldn't do it.
This Wednesday, I'm streaming on David's Horrors. He's having a stream.
Okay.
But I can usually do Wednesdays.
Okay.
My work's weird. It's pretty flexible until I have a deadline. Then I need to work like 18 hours a day. So
okay.
It's sort of like
like
on or off. Yeah, it's like a switch.
Well, me and Dave usually stream on Friday. I don't know if you want to do it this Thursday if it's not a good day or.
I don't have anything that I know of going on Thursday right now. So
all right.
As far as I can tell, that's fine with me.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything on Thursday.
Okay.
Either.
Okay. All right. We'll just ask Dave. He might be streaming somewhere else. He does Greeters on Thursday, but that's like every other Thursday. I don't know if it's like this Thursday. So no.
I say let's figure that out.
Okay.
A later date. And
All right.
everyone in the chat, well, go check out David's channel anyway. Genome Presents.
Yep.
And that's where we're going to actually do the watch party at some later date.
Okay.
Yep.
What's the sixth monster you guys would add?
They don't have any
terms-
female. They don't have any female monsters. How about like a succubus or something? You know.
Okay.
I mean, if she didn't get blown up, we'd have the Bride of Frankenstein.
Mm.
We need someone with she-nards for sure.
Maybe like a witch or something. I don't know, something.
Or she-wolf, if you want the Nards aspect.
That is true. Yeah, let's see.
I'm trying to remember. They had the creatures from the Black Lagoon. Was that in there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They had the mummy, Frankenstein, werewolf, Dracula.
Yep. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Dracula could bring his brides along with him, but that would just be more vampires. You might.
That would. That's.
But I always add more vampires to everything. So.
Yeah.
Would they sparkle though? That's the true question.
Not in sunlight. They'd explode in the sunlight, but they could sparkle a little bit if they wanted to.
Well, that's why I'd want like a witch or like a succubus, because then she would be her own thing. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, what about the Species creature from Species?
Yeah. Well, that's more of an alien than.
It's like an alien succubus, though.
Yeah.
Creepy Cody says, "Yeah, female demon," and Derek from Old School Shinobi is saying the chick from Teeth.
That would definitely not be a PG, even by 80s standards.
I mean, it might be. I guess it would be. If someone tried to kick her in the she-nards, they would come back with a bloody stump.
That would be a scene.
Yeah. Does Teeth Lady have nards? And then you try to kick her, and then it would just be like just fall over with a bloody calf. Yeah, and they'd be like, "No, she has teeth." Phil's in the house. What's up, Phil?
Hey, Phil.
What's going on, Phil? Sure.
Right. Yeah, I'd go with the female demon. I could see that.
Yeah,
you could pull in like the Gorgon or Medusa or something. That could add an interesting dynamic.
That is true. I could see that.
She might inadvertently turn everybody else to stone, though. Is the problem?
I mean, that is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there a version of the Medusa / Gorgon that can control who they turn into stone?
In the Percy Jackson, I think, books and the movie, she wears sunglasses, and when she wants to turn someone into stone, she takes them off and looks them directly in the eye because the filter prevents the stone transformation thing.
So she wears like her sunglasses at night, so to speak. Had her Betty Davis eyes.
The Queen of the Demons.
Oh God, Lilith. That's a jump from Universal Monsters to Queen Demon of the Underworld.
I've seen Lilith in a few different movies. Is that right?
Yeah.
I saw her in Bordello of Blood, of course, classic.
Yep. Hobbs sent me that one on VHS, which is fun.
Do you have a VCR?
Yeah, actually.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah, there's not too many female monsters, are there?
There are a lot. They just
that's not already taken by other genres like vampire or werewolf or something like that.
I mean, I would think that almost every monster has a female version, right?
Pretty much every monster does have a female counterpart.
Otherwise, it would just be one and done for those monsters. There'd never be monster babies.
Well, Frankenstein, they had to make one though, so.
Well, that's the whole point.
Although he was made himself, so I guess that
he was just a dude made of other people. So
that is true.
Which I never understood. Like, if you're gonna make like a reanimate a human, why are you gonna make him like 10 times stronger than the average man? And then like,
Well, because he
why
wanted him to
start-
be he wanted him to be the perfect person, and so he just gave him like the perfect physique. But since he's made out of corpses, that ends up kind of coming back to bite him.
Yeah, I would have started small, like trying to reanimate a chicken or something. Something you could just like take down. Or...
Yeah, Victor is not a humble person at all. He wants to start go big or go home.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess why would you even waste your time with the chicken?
Yeah,
you could eat that chicken. You can make nuggets out of that fucker, right? Yeah. What a waste of a chicken to reanimate it. Yeah, that's what's your favorite Frankenstein adaptation, do you think, guys?
Frankenstein was Unbound was pretty cool, but there was too many elements because there was also time travel and like all this other stuff in it. But I think the original Frankenstein was probably the best one, the Universal one.
The original Universal Frankenstein is really good. Yeah. Ironically, I think Bride of Frankenstein is actually a better adaptation of the book than the first movie is. It has more elements from Mary Shelley in it. I like the Kenneth Branagh version a lot as well.
I think that's my favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I really like the version of the monster in Penny Dreadful, although Ben Grimm will fight me to the death on that. That's why we're arch rivals now. We just he will always bring up that is the worst and most annoying version of the monster, and I will always scream at him because that's my favorite version of the monster.
Right. You ever see Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein? That's a good compilation movie. That's a big.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Although there's a scene in that where Dracula walks in front of a mirror and you can see his reflection, and it's what?
Right. Wow.
He literally just bites someone in front of a mirror, and they don't even try to hide the reflection, even though they made a point of hiding it in the first film. So, oh well.
Wow.
Yeah, Creepy Cody saying the monster in Unbound was just a pure monster, no humanity in him at all.
I haven't seen Unbound, but that's kind of my deal with the Hammer Frankenstein as well. As good as Christopher Lee plays the monster, there's no humanity to him.
Right.
I always think of the Castle Freak as being a very Frankenstein character, that sort of sympathetic antagonist. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you do need that humanity for that type of story. That's what gives it that dynamic, right?
Right. Exactly. That's what it's all about.
Well,
Victor's
I mean, I always
the real monster in the story.
Yeah. I was about to say that. I always thought he was the real monster, and Frankenstein, the monster was just a victim. Like Frankenstein was the bad guy.
Yeah, and I also like that his name is Victor because it's a total ironic thing because of he's anything but the victor in the story. His life just completely falls apart.
I think the first draft he was just called Loser, but
yeah,
she switched it up. She's like, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, and they switch Victor and Henry's names in the Universal movie for some reason. It's like the Mina and Lucy name switch that bothers me. They switch the first names of Victor Frankenstein and Henry Clerval, so it's Henry Frankenstein and Victor Clerval, and there's literally no reason for it, and no explanation is given. It's just a weird thing.
I had to put their stink on the story, man.
Yeah.
I have not seen, now all the horror fans I know absolutely love Monster Squad, and I have not seen Monster Squad in years, so I'm a little rusty on it. I loved it. I saw it in the theater. I mean, I love it.
I remember loving it as a little kid, but I don't remember, like, I can't tell you any of the kids' names. I can't tell you, like, what exactly what happened or anything.
Yep. I like it, and as a Universal Monster fan, those being probably my favorite horror films, I think it's a pretty good love letter to those films, but oddly, out of the movies directed by Fred Decker that I've seen, I probably prefer Night of the Creeps over Monster Squad.
Oh, Night of the Creeps is fantastic.
Okay. Yeah.
Tim Hayes is saying that Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with Kenneth Branagh is a little bit like Frankenstein Unbound, but I thought that one was actually pretty true to the novel.
Oh, it's really faithful to the novel. They switch it up a little bit by making Elizabeth the bride, and he reanimates Elizabeth as the bride. But other than that, it's really, really faithful to the book.
I haven't seen Frankenstein Unbound though.
Me neither.
Unbound's a little weird because there's time travel involved. It's and the guy time travels in a fancy car, so it's almost like Back to the Future.
Wow, that does not sound like a Frankenstein movie to me.
Well, he goes back and he actually meets Mary Shelley, and he actually meets the monster and like all that other stuff.
So that reminds me.
Yeah, go on.
Go on. Oh, you go on first.
I was just going to say, so it's like Mary Shelley was actually writing a true non-fictional story that we accidentally misinterpreted as fictional.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up the Frankenstein Chronicles, which is a series on Netflix that got abruptly canceled and made me mad. But it's Sean Bean as a detective going around investigating these murders. He realizes this plot that may or may not involve someone reanimating people, and Mary Shelley is actually a character in the story, but it's like this Victorian murder mystery with a horror twist to it. And it's pretty good, but it abruptly got canceled after a couple seasons, which I didn't like. But the first season ends in a way that I did not expect, and it was awesome.
Yeah. I don't have Netflix, but I'm kind of curious about the Dracula. The Dracula series on Netflix. I heard good things about that one.
I watched the first episode. I didn't watch the other ones. That Dracula actually creeps me out, and more than other Draculas do, like more than Nosferatu. There's just something gross about him that's just really repulsive. He's just
isn't that the point?
It's like his nature to feed. This guy knows exactly what he's doing, and he's having fun while just ruining these people's lives. You can tell that he's enjoying it.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now we got to get real philosophical here, because Creepy Cody is saying he wants to know if we think it's possible to reanimate a corpse or give life to the dead. That's a deep philosophical question. I think you can shock a group of muscles and make them move.
Well,
I mean, I've always wanted to be a mad scientist. That was what I wanted to be when I grew up, when I was younger, but I don't know. I just don't know.
Martin, it's not too late. You're just starting out, man. You could like major in scientism. Scientism? I'll just call it.
I mean,
scientism. Yeah.
I mean, it depends how far
they study scientism.
Depends how far in the future you want to go, but I think technology will allow that at some point. Will you come back as the person you are, though?
Well, that's the question.
Are you coming back?
You could model our brain synapses in such a way that you could have our consciousness digitally stored somewhere, and then you could put that in some form of vessel at some point.
Yeah, but
what
if it glitches out? What happens if it glitches out at some point?
Well, that's how it becomes a horror movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's what they should do. They should set it in the future, like a future Frankenstein.
I feel like that probably exists somewhere.
I feel like that's a reverse Frankenstein Unbound. Right?
Yeah, probably. Probably. But Tim's saying Frankenstein Unbound has Elizabeth being reanimated as a female monster, like in Branagh's, which is what happened. Yeah.
Was that a good movie? Should I put that on my list of things to watch?
It's interesting. Yeah. It's God, I haven't seen it in a long time, but yeah, I enjoyed it when I saw it, like back in the day. So, but I was a little kid back then. So,
yeah,
it's got Raul Julia in it. It's got yeah, who's that? Who's that guy? But you remember Alien? I think it was the guy who had the alien and
the chestburster guy in the first movie.
Yeah, he played the guy that went back in time, and Raul Julia played Frankenstein. So,
Well, sounds
All
like a
right.
good cast at least.
Yeah, good cast.
Now, there have been a lot of heads that have been cryogenically frozen, with people thinking that they will be able to be revived at some point. Am I?
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
We shall see.
We'll see about that. Yeah, there's probably just like a landfill with a bunch of like human heads in it somewhere. There's like, it's never gonna happen. Fuck it.
Yep. Paul brings up Young Frankenstein, which is a whole other story. I love that movie.
That is a fun movie.
Where did this come from? Sexploitation movies. I mean,
why are we on sexploitation movies?
That's my channel. So, unless he's looking at my stuff.
Whenever the conversation gets dull, just bring up sexploitation movies. You'll be fine. And do it like I'm in, like someone else suggested it. Collector Man in the house. Yeah, we didn't know this was happening either. We're sort of it just sort of came together on this channel.
Yeah.
But we for people that are now just joining us, we do like we've been watching all the old Hammer Dracula films on Genome Presents channel, doing like live watch parties for him. And we are going to postpone the actual live watch until we can do it back on his channel. So now we're just hanging out talking about sexploitation movies, as you do.
Apparently. Yeah. Tim brought up Jess Franco. I've only seen one Jess Franco movie. It was his version of Dracula, and it had Christopher Lee and Klaus Kinski in it. I didn't like it at all. I really didn't like it because it follows the narrative of the book pretty well, but it feels like it's just going through the motions and nobody really has any interest in anything.
Yeah.
And they made Klaus Kinski Renfield, and then they didn't give him any dialogue. Why would you do that?
No, seriously.
He just kind of sits there.
I don't know if I've ever seen a Jess Franco movie. I'm gonna search this out and see.
I have it, I think. Let me see that. Yep, I have it actually. I haven't seen it though. It's in my Dracula file.
Yep.
I've seen Bloody Moon.
How is that one?
That's a video nasty. It's I did a review of it on my channel. if you want to watch it, it's not a great review. It's like the only movie I ever reviewed that I thought the movie kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I was pretty disappointed in it. But I think that's Jess Franco's gig, is making like weird, not super great movies, right?
Yeah. Jess Franco is not for me. I can just kind of tell. I can tell that the aesthetic is kind of my thing, just the look of them, but then the everything else is just
yeah. Well, they made it look like a Hammer, Christopher Lee Dracula. It's just not with Christopher Lee.
it's like the porn parody version of Hammer horror, is what it is.
Yeah, and Bloody Moon, there is like some weird. There's this weird scene where I don't even know. I don't think you could spoil that movie. But there's this scene where there's like this girl and she like meets a masked dude, and he's like, she goes back to this place to like have sex with him or whatever. He's just a dude in a mask. She's never seen his face. And he's like tying her up to like this table saw bed in this like sawmill, and she's like, "Oh yeah, okay, this is cool. Yeah, let's do this. And you don't have to wear the mask. It's okay. I don't care if you're ugly or whatever." And he's like, this masked figure just tying her to the fucking top of this saw. Like, it's ridiculous.
I have to wonder what was going through her head, both the character's head and her when she signed up for the part in the film.
I understand that part.
Bloody Moon. Is that the Dario Argento?
No,
film?
It's Jess Franco, right?
Yeah, it was a video nasty though.
Mm-hmm.
Night Watch in the house. What's up, dude? Night Watch Zone. The video nasties were a British list, but that does not mean that it was not a video nasty.
I mean, because Evil Dead and Suspiria were on that list too, and those aren't British films.
Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Those are Italian
British films. It was the British government was.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Those are Italian. That's Giallo films. Giallo films are awesome.
Suspiria is anyway, and it's kind of a Giallo, but it's kind of its own genre too.
I don't even consider Suspiria to be Giallo. I think for it to be Giallo, there has to be like a crime thriller aspect. For me personally, and like Black Glove Killer style, and
There's some Black Glove Killer in the movie, but it's done in a weird way. There's like some giallo elements, but I don't completely consider it a giallo.
All those video nasties though, they're like pretty tame by today's standards. Like if you watch the series Hannibal, you'll see like way more gruesome shit than if you watch. That was a network show. Than those video
I know
nasties.
people whose Hannibal is like their comfort show, which is really interesting to me.
Really,
I would call it the mac and cheese of serial killer shows.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
That's how I always describe it. Yeah,
I haven't seen that. Is that worth watching, Hannibal? Because I can't get anybody. Anthony Hopkins is always going to be Hannibal to me. I can't imagine anyone else playing him.
That show was fucking excellent, man. It was really well done. The art direction was amazing. It was great. Yeah, I love that show. Really well done.
I still need to watch it. I still really need to watch it.
It's like if you took an art house horror movie and spread it out over the course of 3 seasons. You know what I mean? But yeah, it had dark imagery that was just beautiful.
When I watched
Mads Mikkelsen was a great Hannibal.
You get hungry when you watch Hannibal, Cody. That's concerning or worrisome.
I usually only get hungry when I'm butchering my victims, but yeah, I guess. I mean, what?
Oh, that's why he's creepy, I guess.
Though that show has beautiful like cinematography of him preparing meals. It's like really artfully done. I swear to God. Like
Okay.
Yeah, that show is really great. I recommend it. I was just talking about Hannibal Rising with someone last night, and I was saying like I think the reason I didn't care for it that much was because the Hannibal character, like the Hannibal guy they got for it, I didn't think really was super great.
Well, that's kind of the crux of the whole thing. If your Hannibal doesn't work, Hannibal Rising doesn't work.
Yeah, then it's just Rising.
Yeah, just Rising.
Might as well be a fucking loaf of bread.
So would you rather watch Hannibal Rising or a loaf of bread?
Do I get to eat the loaf of bread after it rises?
Maybe.
Yes.
If you
okay.
Yeah.
Can I hollow it out and put clam chowder in it? Because now we're talking.
Oh, that sounds good, actually.
Sure.
That's the I'll tell you what, chowder in a bread bowl, that's the way to go. Every time. If you ever get the option to do a bread bowl, in fact, if you can find a place that will do a bread bowl and you can invent like a cracker spoon.
Oh, now you're talking.
Someone get on that. I totally recommend Hannibal. Yeah, that was an excellent show. And I think all the seasons are on Netflix right now, too.
Oh. Something else to add to important shows that are on Netflix that I still haven't seen for some reason. I still need to watch Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor, too. Those are like right up there for me.
Those I haven't watched either of those either, but I would say watch the first episode of Hannibal and then you're just gonna watch the rest of it.
Yeah.
Or be like, oh, this is amazing. Let's do this.
Yeah. Right now I'm on a Buffy binge because all the seasons are on Prime.
Oh, okay. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Great stuff.
I've definitely been on Buffy binge before. It's like a veritable Buffy buffet.
Although I like Angel better.
Really? Better?
Huh? Yeah.
Interesting. Angel's on there as well, so I'm going to be watching that as soon as I finish.
Okay,
Buffy.
yeah. Because Buffy kind of got too too like emotional with the relationships. Oh, I'm feeling this. Angel wasn't ever like that. Angel was just about killing monsters.
I like the angsty relationship stuff.
Okay.
The will they, won't they?
Yeah.
Now, I remember back in the 2000s, I watched all of Buffy from the first season and then watched all of Angel afterwards. So I just watched them all like simultaneously. Good times, great oldies, man. Cody says he enjoyed Hannibal Rising because it helped us to understand why this guy is what he is. And Nightwatch agrees.
Hannibal Rising, is that Hannibal's origin? I mean,
yeah,
because the way they wrote it in the book is like, he's like, I don't have an origin, I just am. Like, that was like Hannibal's deal. Like, no one made me.
I kind of feel like that enigma would be more compelling than an origin story.
Yeah, no, totally. He's like, don't try to dissect me because I just am. Like, I'm a force of nature. That's what I am.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about Art the Clown. Like from Terrifier, I don't want a backstory for him. I just want like a day in the life type movies for him, because a backstory, like if they did a prequel, like origin story for Art the Clown, it would just
that would kill the mystique.
Yeah, well, he's just a demon, isn't he? I mean, we know he's like immortal or something like that.
We know there's something.
Yeah.
But we don't know exactly what, and we don't want them to tell us like he's a dream demon or like a fucking worm that has the soul of Jason Voorhees in him or something. We don't need any of that information. I would rather just not even address it, man. Just have him do his thing.
Yep. I like the horror movies where it's mostly grounded, but then there's just this one weird element that they put in that they can't rationalize, but they don't have time to rationalize it because they're trying to stay alive.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I watched the movie on Shudder called Hunted. That's firmly grounded in like a real universe. But there are some just like super bizarre storytelling like tools that they use, like mechanisms in there to move the story along that are so like random that it's really weird, and it was kind of cool. I like that about it. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. It's pretty new, but there was some things, if you watch it, there's like
I've been hearing mixed things about Hunted, but mostly positive, like middling positive reviews.
I would say I liked it. I would give it a positive review. It's like the synopsis is that these people are hunting a lady, and then it ends up being sort of like a revenge type of movie. Like a rape revenge without the rape.
So that was the. I watched Nightmare Maven's review of it, and it was like rape revenge movie without the rape was the basic pitch that she gave, and I was like, I can get on board with that because I like watching the revenge, but not the other thing at all.
Did she like it?
She said there were some weird choices, especially with the villains and how they acted.
Yeah,
because there was just some like weird satirical element that didn't quite translate, but otherwise, I think she liked it.
There is a weird tone going throughout, little weird tone shift that I think people sometimes have problems with. They think a movie doesn't know like what it wants to be. You know what I mean? And so in some cases, I think a movie can be like that, where it's just like it doesn't commit one way or the other. But then some movies can go in and out of tone shift like that, and it works really well for me. Like Horns did that. Horns was really good like that, I thought. Tim's out. Have a good night, Tim.
Right. Take care, Tim.
I think Art the Clown is an actual ghoul who dresses up as a Halloween as a clown. Because he's not fully human, he can't be killed easily. Yeah,
Cody's got a head canon for everything, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. We don't want to know what Art the Clown is. It's better like a mystery.
Well, Cody does. Cody likes coming up with the mythos for everything.
Well, the first movie he was in was All Hallows Eve, which was a anthology movie.
Yeah, with the little jack-o'-lantern kid, and I remember that.
And I think they make his character already in that one. He's like something supernatural, so that's established. But I didn't love the ending of that movie. I liked that movie a lot. It felt like a really cool sort of retro slasher. That was just brutal and like I mean they got an iconic killer, you know what I mean? I think they nailed it. David Howard Thornton was amazing in that role. But the ending, yeah, I didn't like the ending because I just want like a day in the life of Art. I don't want to know that he's like supernatural or can make like has secret powers that can make the lights flicker and can be it's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he needed to shoot himself in that. You know what I mean? I feel like they could have ended that a bunch of different ways.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. Paul's saying VHS. VHS is good.
I still need to see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love anthology movies, and VHS. The wraparound story sucks, I think, a little bit. I don't ever hear really people talking about the wraparound story in that one, but
I haven't seen it, so yeah.
But it's got I like it, man. It's got the first one and the second one are both pretty good. There's solid stories in it.
I'm trying to think what my favorite horror anthology would be.
It'd be like Creepshow.
Creepshow for me.
Creepshow.
I mean, Trick or Treat's not exactly an anthology because all the stories are happening simultaneously, but it's got the same feel going on. So I'd throw that one
I
out
would
there.
100% call that an anthology, even if the stories are interconnected. You know what I mean? Because the stories, they're all going on simultaneously.
But they're separate. They're separate,
they're
but
separate. Yeah, they're separate story arcs through each, right?
One movie that like one of the first movies I reviewed on my channel. It's a weird one. It's a movie called Summer School, but every time you say Summer School, they're like, "Oh, the comedy movie." It's not that. It's a horror movie from the 2000s. It's a really low budget indie thing, but it's this kid who goes to school and keeps falling asleep in class and waking up in different horror scenarios in his school. And every horror scenario is like a different genre and like a different writer and director. So it's kind of an anthology, but it's the same character with like a through line through the different stories, and he's trying to escape because he'll like die and then wake back up in the school again.
When did that come out?
Like, let me check, but I think it was like 2006 or so.
I love that comedy that came out in the 80s, the summer school comedy. I loved Buzzsaw and Dave. I thought those guys were so cool, man. 100%. Casey wants to know what it was called. It's called Summer School. And it does sound like a fun premise, for sure. Tales from the Dark Side movie. I like that one a lot too. Paul brings that one up.
That's a good one.
Yep, it came out in 2006, and it says a sleep-deprived movie fan gets ensnared in an unending onslaught of horror film scenes. And it says it was produced by Lance Henriksen, apparently, if the internet's to be believed.
Oh, okay.
I believe it. I like Creepshow 2, Paul. I think The Raft was actually like one of the stronger segments in that whole franchise.
Creepshow 2 wasn't bad. Creepshow 3 is really bad.
Creepshow 3 doesn't count. Remove that from our let's put that in the landfill that has all those frozen heads in it. And,
I know Mr. Meathook like really likes Creepshow 3 and will defend it because he's like, it's good, but it's not a Creepshow movie. I haven't seen it, so I can't confirm, but he has very particular tastes in movies, I'll say.
But, I mean, Tales from the Dark Side, that had George Romero, and that was more like unofficial sequel to Creepshow.
I like Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, quite a bit.
I love that, man. Debbie Harry is like the Hansel and Gretel character. She was great.
She still looked good. Yeah.
I was just talking about that movie with the Horrible Show on Instagram. He had just watched Kwaidan. Have you guys seen that? It's like an old school art house Japanese ghost story anthology.
No.
I've heard of Kwaidan, and I've heard it's really good. I think I'd like it, but I haven't seen it.
There was a story in that was super heavily borrowed from in Tales from the Dark Side.
Is it the last one?
It's the last one.
I figured as much. That one has the most like fairy tale, folk tale feeling to it.
That's the one that has the most Ray Don Chong in it too.
Yeah.
The Ray Don Chong-o-meter was like pegged that whole. Yeah.
Yep. There's also a tribute to that segment in Tales from the Dark Side in the movie Bliss from last year.
You loved Bliss.
I did.
I was a little lukewarm on Bliss.
That's fair.
I
think I was kind of lukewarm on it at first, because first I was really hyped for it, and then I watched it and was like, this isn't quite as good as I thought it was going to be. But then as the year progressed, I found myself really liking it more and more.
Well, yeah. Do you guys know Hayes and Devon Graham's channel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He had done a review. Well, he was like just singing its praises like a motherfucker. And I was like, oh man, this thing must be awesome. So I watched it with pretty high expectations, and I think that was my first mistake.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It has like 0 likable characters, which doesn't ruin a movie for me, but it also doesn't make me engaged in a certain kind of way. You know what I mean?
That's true, but it's a weird thing where the main character is a total asshole, and yet I still sympathize with her.
Yeah. That is a weird thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a movie that also does that. I know there have been, I just can't think of any off the top of my head.
I remember really early on last year, the Horror Guru did a review of Bliss, and he compared it to Frank Henenlotter films where there's no likable characters and it's still engaging. So I haven't seen a lot of his movies, but I think I think he did Brain Damage.
Yeah. That's good case.
Yeah. I haven't seen Trilogy of Terror answering.
I was just thinking that too.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone else, just between us.
Yeah.
I've never seen Trilogy of Terror.
I highly recommend it. The first 2 segments nobody really talks about. Everybody talks about the 3rd segment with the Zuni fetish doll, but the first 2 segments are fun too. And it's fun because Karen Black plays the main character in all 3 segments.
That is a fun, interesting thing.
Tales from the Hood. Yeah.
Love Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood's funny.
That's a very strong anthology. And that was one I had very low expectations for when I watched it in the 90s. And was like, damn, that was actually like excellent.
Yeah. And I still need to see Tales from the Hood.
Oh, that's a good one, man.
Yeah.
It has
and there's also really a sequel.
That. The sequel I hear sucks assholes, so I haven't watched
it. It does, but
I've heard a few people say they liked it, but nobody saying they liked it more than the first one. So,
and they just released part 3. Recently, and that one's supposed to be better than part 2. And
wow.
Oh,
okay.
I guess a swift kick in the Wolfman Nards is probably better than the second one, from what I gather. Yeah, Karen Black was pretty great. Yeah, I've been meaning to watch Trilogy of Terror, I think, for years and years and years, and I believe it's streaming on one of the platforms right now. But I haven't gotten around to watching it yet.
I've got my TV right here, so I can just check and see where it's streaming real quick. Actually,
I want to say maybe Prime. Prime has actually a good selection. Oh, I love Mortuary Collection, man. That was super fun.
I really, really, really need to see Mortuary Collection because I don't have Shudder. Is the thing. All the movies keep coming out, but I don't have Shudder. I got the free trial for 1 week, and I had a field day during that 1 week just watching everything. But our family is already paying for 3 different streaming services, and they're not about to pay for another one just to satisfy my horror addiction.
Yeah, it was great, and the main wraparound story has Clancy Brown. He plays like the head of the mortuary, and he is great in it, man. He reminds me so much of like if they did a reboot of Phantasm, he would be
everybody says he sounds like a tall man. Yeah,
he, just like that performance had just notes of the tall man all over it.
Oh, Clancy Brown's always been great ever since Highlander. Like, you know, he's been great.
Oh yeah, since Bad Boys, man, when he was in prison with Sean Penn.
I heard that movie is crazy.
Which one?
Bad Boys.
Oh, I have not seen that also in a long time. I don't remember it being super crazy. It was sort of just like, you know, 80s, like young person in prison style movie. Some bars of soaps and a pillowcase and whatnot, that type of thing. I loved him as the was he the Kurgan? Is that what he was in the
in Highlander? Yeah.
The thing that was stupid, the thing that was stupid about that movie, and I thought it was awesome the first time I saw it, and all through the 80s, is the Kurgan goes to the hotel and he has this like pelican, like hard plastic pelican case that he like puts down, and he opens it up, and it's like, you know, people like pull out the sniper rifle parts and they put it all together.
Yeah.
He does that, but with this giant broadsword.
Yep.
And it's cool as fuck. But then, like, nowadays, I make stuff for a living, and I watched that, and I was
it's totally not realistic. But,
he would just crumble the fuck apart the first time you like try to hit anything with it.
Yeah. It's just a nice little fantasy bit. It's not anything. But,
it was a cool idea, but like,
totally not realistic.
I was telling Cody and those guys on that stream, on the Coast to Coast horror stream I do every week, that one thing that pulls me out of a horror movie nowadays is when tools are misused or there's something like that, just because I use that stuff all the time.
Yeah. What do you make of that scene in the original Phantasm where Mike escapes from his room? Because the thing he puts together, I still don't understand the logic of the hammer mechanism he makes in that scene.
You're talking about this shotgun shell thing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the idea is that he, rather than the firing pin on the gun, you know, he used a nail to discharge it, because there's like a charge inside of a shell.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think theoretically that works, right? I think you could do that.
I guess.
I don't know for sure.
Yep. But I was on Phantasm's Facebook page, and apparently they sell replicas of that thing.
I think the bigger question is, why the fuck did a finger turn into a space bug?
Yeah.
Well, you just don't question with the tall man.
You can't question that movie at all, man.
No.
It's great the way it is. It makes no sense in a lot of ways, and like it's perfect. I love that. That movie is like just like, the story is not what's important. It's the atmosphere in that one that's important.
Yeah, it feels like a nightmare. It operates on nightmare logic, kind of like Suspiria does, which I wasn't ready for the first time I watched it. But then every time I watch Phantasm again, I think I like it more.
Oh yeah, it's great, man. On my channel, if you guys aren't familiar, I did a location visit to the mortuary from Phantasm, because it's over here in Oakland.
Okay. Nice.
So I did a visit over there. It's pretty cool. That's somewhere on my channel.
Also, big shout out. I already did this in my Ghoulies review today, but big shout out to Interweb Kaiju, because he did quick reviews of all 5 Phantasm movies, and he used my cover of the theme in the video.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
I remember a shitty movie I loved as a kid called Cellar Dweller.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. I don't remember. That is a movie that I remember that I watched, but it was before I got sober, and I don't remember a goddamn thing about it, except for the VHS cover with like the big ass hand thing.
Yeah, I don't remember that one either. God. All right, I gotta Google this Cellar Dweller.
I remember that movie vividly existing, and I remember that I had watched it. There's a lot of movies like that from that era that I know I've seen and can't remember a goddamn thing about.
Speaking of looking stuff up, I just checked, and Trilogy of Terror is on Prime, and so is Tales of Terror, which is the old Roger Corman Poe anthology movie, which is another one of my favorite horror anthologies, I'd say.
It looks kind of cool, Cellar Dweller.
Yeah, I wish I could remember anything about it.
I'm gonna go check it out. I'll check it out.
It's definitely worth checking out. Is it streaming somewhere?
Not that I see, but that doesn't stop it.
Illustration of the monster comes to life type of situation.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and Paul brings up Scare Package. That's a pretty fun anthology, but they started that anthology with the worst segment, and the worst segment sucks assholes. It's like enough to make you want to turn the thing off, but if you get past that first section, it's actually really fun. And the sort of wraparound story is this guy starting work in this VHS rental place.
Mm-hmm.
That's the boss sort of showing him the ropes, and there's like this guy who's like haunts that place, like, you know, he's like a big horror movie nerd, and he's just like there all the time.
Yeah, I really want to see that one as well. And yeah, the Poe anthology with Vincent Price. My favorite segment in that is the Black Cat segment, because it's kind of the Black Cat by Poe, but also the Cask of Amontillado, and it's Vincent Price and Peter Lorre. And Vincent Price is this uppity wine taster, and Peter Lorre is this abusive drunk, and they have a wine tasting contest, and Vincent Price is making all of these weird faces while he swishes the wine around in his mouth to get all the taste in there properly, and Peter Lorre is just downing tons and tons of glasses of wine until he can't stand anymore. It's fun.
I don't know how you do a wine tasting contest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who judges that.
Yeah, well, after they drink it, they have to describe it and like pick out the different details, because like the best thing about it is that Peter Lorre is totally this sloppy drunk, but he knows all of the intricate details of the wine at the same time.
Even so, like, is it just who describes it the closest to what it actually is, or is it who entertains the most with their description?
Yeah, they were guessing the names and ages of each wine because they couldn't. They didn't know what wines they were tasting.
Now we got a contest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get it.
Oh, and yeah, Black Sabbath is really good, but I watched the American cut of that one. I've heard the Italian cut is a lot better. So
I have this set over here. This is the Arrow Video. I'm not going to go full screen. The Macabre Vision box set of Mario Bava.
Okay.
That's on this one.
I need to watch a lot more Bava because I've only seen a couple of his films at this point.
Graveyard Shift. I love the
book.
book.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's a pretty good movie.
I thought the movie kind of sucked assholes from what I remember. But a lot of people love it, so who am I to say?
Yeah, I have not seen Graveyard Shift. I know it's on Prime right now, but I haven't had the incentive to check it out. There's just so many other things.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I kind of liked it, but I haven't seen it in like years. But
there was an interesting concept for an anthology, and the movie itself wasn't too bad. But I think it's called what's it called? It was on Prime, and it was basically an anthology that was based on the 5 different senses. So a story for each. Yeah, it was a really interesting concept. I think it was called 5 Chilling Senses or something like that.
Okay.
Had some strong segments. I guess I could look, or I could just make up a bunch of, just give you some fake ass name that because I don't know. One of those two things could happen. Let me check.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna look up some other horror anthologies to see if there are any I'm forgetting about too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's tons of them.
Oh, there's a shit ton of them. What about
So
the
many.
ABCs of horror? Did you guys like those?
I have not seen those yet. I've seen Death Central's kill count videos for them, which are quick rundown of them, but I haven't actually seen them yet.
Let's see.
Oh, The House That Dripped Blood. That's another one. That's an Amicus movie from the 70s with Peter Cushing and Vincent Price in it, but in different segments, and then Ingrid Pitt's in it as well. That's a really good one.
All right.
Okay, that movie that with the 5 senses of fear is called Chilling Visions, 5 Senses of Fear.
All right.
And just because I think I can post a link here, I'm going to do this in the chat.
Twilight's on the movie. I mean, yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah. My favorite segment in that was the Dan Aykroyd one where they're driving, they're on the road trip.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was scary as shit when I was a little kid, man. Because they were like good friends, and he never knew his friend was like a monster, and his friend fucking killed him. You know what I mean? It's like terrifying.
Yep. According to Google, apparently Pulp Fiction is an anthology horror comedy.
Oh yeah, that's the best anthology horror comedy I can think of.
It's not a horror film.
It's not even an anthology. It's not even a comedy. It is pretty funny though. There's some good humor. Oh yeah, the what the fuck is it called? The one that has dumplings. Fuck. What was the Japanese anthology? It was like J horror, except it wasn't just J horror. There's a Korean.
I don't know.
I mean,
oh god damn it! You make me look this up. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. That's because I'm old.
Oh, the Necronomicon. That's another good. I'm looking this stuff up in IMDb. So,
you know, underrated, often forgotten movie is Campfire Tales. I think from the late '90s, very possibly early 2000s. But
it's actually on the list. I see it. Campfire Tales. Pretty.
I thought that was
not seen that one.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, but yeah.
Collector Man brings up the uncanny with Peter Cushing, and he says all the segments involve cats. I have not seen that one, but now I really want to because I love Peter Cushing and I love cats.
Qui-Gon, Black Sabbath. Okay. I got a whole lot of to watch list now.
Oh God, my watch list is already more movies than I'll ever see in my lifetime.
Oh yeah, Paul. By the way, Paul like knocked it out while I was looking. He just was like, "Oh yeah, 3 Extremes." So that's the one. That's a really solid anthology, and it was interesting because the one I mentioned, Dumplings, was directed by Fruit Chan, and it was a full length feature that they cut down to be in the anthology, and it works.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I would have it. It would be an absolute nightmare for me trying to pick which scenes to cut out of my feature-length film just to fit it into an anthology.
Mm-hmm.
That's who else does it have? It has Takashi Miike. That's why I was thinking of it. And I don't want to slaughter his name. South Korean director. I'm not even going to attempt it. I'm sure I'll start looking and Paul will just put it in the fucking comments. I'll wait for him this time.
Oh, it's on Tubi, according to Collector Man. The Uncanny is. I'll have to check that out.
Is Tubi free?
Yeah, everything on Tubi's free. I just made an account, and everything has ads in it, but they're like placed like where a commercial break would be on TV. So.
Okay, here's the thing about Tubi. I've watched exactly one movie on Tubi. I never made an account, and it was this extreme horror movie called Atroz. It's supposed to be like one of the most like disturbing films ever made. It's like gets put on lists with like a Serbian film and Salò or 100 Days of Sodom.
Oh God!
And it's a found footage. It's a Mexican found footage film.
Wow.
That's supposed to be very disturbing. And I just Googled it and I was like, oh, it's on Tubi, so I'll watch it for free on Tubi. And there was like a commercial break that was happening at like the most like depraved moment. It just like went to a commercial. I was like, that is the weirdest goddamn thing I'd ever seen. And if I was that like advertiser, I don't know that I would be happy about this. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't know. You didn't even make an account? That's weird, because on my TV, when I went in, no account, and I tried to watch some random full moon movie, and I think, and it was like, this has mature content, and therefore you must have an account in order to properly watch it.
That's what I thought too, because I watched it on my laptop, so it wasn't on a TV. So maybe that's why. But I like clicked the link and I played it, and I was like, I could be a 10-year-old kid right now thinking like, oh, what's Atroz? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyone in the chat seen Atroz? Let me know what you think.
Yep.
Yeah. See, Paul did it. Park Chan-wook. Boom.
Yep. The only movie I've watched on Tubi thus far is a movie called Live, and it's a super realistic, disturbing found footage movie about a woman who basically streams her whole life on Facebook Live, and someone starts stalking her and then kidnaps her. It was not a fun film, but it was decently made.
There was a movie similar to that called The Den that actually was a good found footage movie. And that might be streaming on Netflix. But yeah, it was this girl, she was doing her master's thesis on social networking.
Mm-hmm.
So she was documenting all this stuff, but then she like, just sort of like gets abducted and then like taken to this snuff film ring, underground snuff film ring.
All right.
But it was a good movie. I thought it was pretty well done and like ultimately kind of chilling, you know. It wasn't like overly graphic or anything, but just conceptually, anything with snuff to me is always like chilling and disturbing.
Yeah, I usually can't do that kind of thing, but yeah.
Thirst, is that the vampire film, the Korean vampire film? I think I'd seen that.
I need to see Thirst.
Yeah, it was okay. I wasn't in love with it, but I mean, yeah, I won't ruin it, but yeah.
Dude, those South Koreans know how to make a goddamn horror movie. I'm impressed with those guys.
Yeah, they do despair like really well. Like you don't feel like you're gonna get away from like whatever situation you're in. You like basically know you're gonna die.
I don't think I've ever seen a South Korean horror movie that wasn't awesome.
Wow.
I'm sure there are some, but
no, well, I'm Korean, so like I watch a lot of these things, but yeah, I mean, it could go either one of two ways. It's really good or really bad for me. So that's the way I see it.
I can see that. There is I have not seen a bad one yet. I saw one called The Wailing that wasn't super great, but a lot of people really like it.
Okay.
But it was like kind of like a demon possession movie, and those aren't like really exactly my bag.
Yeah.
But man, I saw The Devil.
I saw
that was a good one.
Yeah. Paul brings up A Tale of Two Sisters. That movie confused the hell out of me the first time I saw it. I had to have someone else explain it to me.
Oh, really?
But once I got it, I was in. That movie.
That's a really good movie. I like that one a lot.
That's one that's been like in various watch lists on a bunch of different streaming platforms, and I've never like pulled the trigger. Like I could go to any of my streaming platforms right now and be like, oh yeah, there's that same one, and I'll just scroll by it and watch something else.
Yeah, there's it kind of feels like The Grudge because there's like a mysterious, creepy lady with long hair covering her face and stuff like that.
Okay.
Ghost like, but it's not like The Grudge.
There's a ghost aspect to it, but there's way more to it than that. It plays with your expectations in a really cool way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's an interesting. I've been doing this series on my channel, What is Horror? And I just uploaded Jaws today. Like, is Jaws a horror movie? And Paul is saying, like, I saw The Devil, not really horror though.
No, it's not. That's more like a thriller.
It is more like a thriller, but in my mind, it's a horror movie for some reason. It's the reverse of Silence of the Lambs, which I don't consider a horror movie.
Okay.
But a lot of people do. I saw The Devil. I consider pretty. I would say. I mean, it's not exactly a horror movie, but I would put it in the horror category.
Mm-hmm.
That's more like a cop film, though.
Cop Revenge.
Cop Revenge.
The internet kicked me off before I could say my opinion on Jaws. So,
what was your opinion?
I would say that the first hour of the film is horror, and the second hour of the film is like an action adventure film. You could like pause right before they go off on the big adventure, and then watch the second half later, and they feel consistent, but they also have slightly different tones to me.
Yeah, I could see that. The first half is a lot. I mean, that's before you see the shark, really.
Yeah.
The first half is the shark coming after them, which makes it more horror, and the second half is them going after the shark, which feels more action adventure.
The shark also kind of coming after them, though, a little bit.
Yeah, but
game of cat and
they're
mouse.
looking for it, so there's it. So there's this weird element of like success, but also terror when you find it. You're like, "Yay, I found it!" But oh god, I found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that movie, Steven Spielberg never wanted to shoot in the ocean again. I mean, he had so many.
I understand why. That sounded like hell for everyone involved.
Yeah.
I'm always a little curious, like people your age, Martin, like watching Jaws. People that have grown up seeing like some pretty convincing CGI creatures and sharks and stuff, and some amazing practical ones too. Like the sharks from Deep Blue Sea, the practical sharks from Deep Blue Sea were really cool. They were like full-fledged remote control sharks, that swam like sharks. Right. Awesome. But like, what was your take on how much the actual shark took you out of the movie, or did it not?
It didn't take me out of the movie at all, really, because I think they shot around it really well, and the editing in that is really good because they figured out how to cut it where the shark wasn't on screen far too long. It looked really convincing to me.
Yeah.
Also, I don't have a lot of movies to compare it to because shark movies aren't really my thing. I haven't seen a lot of other shark films that aren't Jaws.
Well, just special effects in general, though.
Special effects in general, it still holds up really well because they don't overdo it.
Okay. I mean,
show restraint. I can see that. I mean, for me, it's still perfectly effective, but I wonder, like, it's a whole like I'm just a different generation. I grew up seeing a bunch of ass like effects that looked like acid. I was like, that is amazing, But
I also love terrible practical effects, so I'm not really the one to judge. I loved the effects in Ghoulies, so who even knows?
Strapped to unicycle. I've seen that picture, Al, for sure. Cody's in the house. What's up, Cody? H&S Collectibles.
Hey, what's up?
We were on the Korean horror tangent earlier. I meant to ask you, have you seen the movie The Call that was on Netflix last year?
I just discovered that movie the other day. Like, it sort of slipped past my radar, and I was actually searching for another movie called The Call, and another horror movie called The Call, and that one came up, and I like accidentally was checking it out, and I was like, that looks pretty good actually. And then I saw it was on Netflix, so I added it to my list, but I haven't watched it yet.
It is really good. It's like it's got this element of magical realism to it.
I like that.
and it plays with like time stuff, not time travel, but it plays with time stuff. I'm not going to tell you anything else about it.
I saw the trailer, so I know I have the general concept of the time stuff.
Yeah, but it goes very wrong somehow, somewhere down the line, and it's great.
Nice. Yeah, I thought it looked awesome, man. And then when I got back to the actual movie I was trying to find out about, I was like, that doesn't look as good.
Yeah.
So I was glad that I accidentally discovered it. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard there was a different film called The Call that also came out last year, and everybody's like, on that film. So
that one came out. I was looking on Amazon to see if there's like any newer horror movies to rent, you know, they're like things. And that one came out and it had like a pretty impressive horror, like all-star cast in it. I can't remember exactly who was in it. I want to say like Tobin Bell was in it.
Oh, okay.
Who else was it? There was like some like horror female character who I can't remember exactly. Oh shit, what's her name? Lynn. She was in the Grudge remake that just happened.
Sarah. Oh, not because I was gonna say Sarah Michelle Gellar, but that's the original.
No, that is not that one. Something Moshe Lynn, something or other. Don't get old, man. It's fucked. Anyway,
did you see the new Grudge or no?
I have not seen it.
Okay,
I have not heard any good things about that.
Yeah,
movie.
that's what I heard.
I've heard terrible things, except from Hayes Not Devon Graham, who absolutely loves it, and I can't tell with that guy because sometimes he loves some of the worst movies, but then some of the movies he loves are amazing. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm all over the place with taste as well, because I've only found, I'm just going to throw this out there. I've only found 2 other people as far as I know, that like Seed of Chucky. Everybody else despises that movie. I only watched it recently and I loved it.
I did not love that one.
Yeah.
I didn't despise it because I'm not quite that invested in the Child's Play franchise enough to be like.
Me neither. I've only seen like the first 2, and like I've given up on it afterwards.
Yep. The first 3 are good.
One. Yeah, I saw the first one, and then I jumped to Bride and Seed. I'm going to go back and watch the 2 and 3 eventually, but I really liked Bride, but I also really liked Seed. I didn't like some of there's some gross out stuff in there, and I was kind of like, why? Why is this supposed to be funny? But everything else I actually really liked about it.
Yeah, I think I lost that thought. I was in the middle of typing this and then I totally lost it. My bad.
It happens.
It does, man, when you get old as fuck. I only got a few hours of sleep last night as well. Because fuck me, man. I woke up this morning. I was like, do I stay up until my meeting? Or do I go to sleep, try to get a couple hours, and then risk not waking up for my meeting? And I was like, I'm going to go to sleep and hopefully I'll wake up. And I woke up and I was like, sweet. And then I was like, it's a motherfucking holiday. God damn it. But I'd already drinking coffee. So now I'm just up until I fall asleep again. But I'm a little loopy. So sorry about that. Curse is really good. Curse of Chucky is really good.
I haven't seen Curse of Cult yet either.
Cult, I did not like nearly as much as Curse. Curse was like a strong return to like a serious horror movie, like a good, well done serious horror movie, because it got kind of campy there for a second, you know.
I love how completely absurd it gets in Seed, though. I love their dedication to going all the way with it.
I love Bride of Frankenstein, or I love that one too. I love Bride of Chucky.
Yep.
Bride of Chucky.
Yeah. I love the Bride of Frankenstein references in Bride of Chucky too. I thought they were really well placed.
That's the one with Jen Tilly in it.
Yeah. Yeah, she was great. I thought, Bride was good. Seed, not really my thing, but more power to you for liking it.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked that they named Billy Boyd's character Glenn Glenda in it because of Ed Wood's movie Glenn or Glenda.
Yeah,
I thought that was a fun reference. And John Waters is in it, and I kind of love John Waters in anything. So.
Oh, okay.
Do you love John Waters movies in general?
Some of I appreciate his whole campy thing, but some of them I just can't do because of the gross out factor.
He's like so hit or miss for me. Mostly miss, but there have been some good ones.
Like what? Like mostly it's miss for me. I mean,
I like Serial Mom a lot. I haven't seen it for a long time, but I remember really liking that one. And I thought Pecker. I had fun watching Pecker when that came out.
Okay.
Even though I wouldn't say it's a good movie, I had fun watching it when it came out. I think that was more like who I was watching it with, but still I enjoyed it. Fond memories of that one.
Seed has great end credits, apparently.
That was my favorite part of that movie was the end credits.
We did Pink Flamingo just like grossed me out, especially when that woman was eating the. I just saw that. I was like,
Yep.
We were talking Pink Flamingo. I want to say it was on the Witching Hour stream on Hobbs Horror. Not like last week. It was, I believe. Yeah, I thought Pink Flamingo was pretty much unwatchable just in general, not because of any gross out. It's just like the whole thing was just like,
it's just people acting depraved, like in the most,
all right,
grossest way possible. Like how can I out gross myself like in this one?
Yeah, I appreciate John Waters' dedication to everything, but I can't watch most of his stuff.
I appreciate his dedication to mustache grooming, but not a big fan of his movies.
Yeah.
And I love just watching interviews with him too. I think he's really funny.
I saw him do an interview recently, and it was really interesting to hear him sort of his political views because they were not what you would think they were. He was like
he was conservative or something.
He was much more conservative. Yeah, he's much more in the conservative sort of side of things. It was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Okay.
I would say Serial Mom is one of his best. Hairspray had Ricky Lake in it. That was cool.
Hairspray had Deborah Harry in it.
Ooh, that's even really cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't remember Hairspray too much, except for the fact that Ricky Lake was in it.
Okay.
I don't remember Debbie Harry being in it, but she was awesome.
Yeah, she had a little role, and she was older, and she played like a mom or something like that. It's not like she was like featured.
Yeah,
still look good though.
Interweb Kaiju brings up like actually really liking the end credits of Seed of Chucky, saying it was a really fun photo montage.
I like the part after the photo montage.
Yeah, but the photo montage is just showing every actor in their film. It's like picture credits, like most films would have, but it always freeze frames on every character in like their most undignified moments as they're dying, which I thought was fun.
Have you guys seen The Mutilator? Speaking of end credits,
no.
No.
It's great. Also called, I want to say it's also called like Spring Break. Or going.
I've heard of that one.
Fall Break.
It's like an 80s cult film, isn't it? Or
it's an 80s horror movie slasher. Okay. But it's really funny. It has like a really great like graphic kills in it.
Oh, okay.
But then at the end, it's like a gag reel. Like it's a gag reel. The tone of that one is really weird. It has like this super upbeat theme song and a crazy, like the craziest road trip montage you'll ever see in a horror movie. It's like this long extended montage of them on the road trip to like the theme song, which is like going on a fall break. It's really goofy. And then at the end it's like has like this serious ending. I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but then it cuts directly like this crazy gag reel where it'll show like the father like choking this kid and then they'll both start laughing. It's like the tone is so weird. It's really funny.
I will have to check that out.
Yeah, it's a fun movie either way. If you like 80s slashers, highly recommend The Mutilator.
I'm still catching up on my 80s slashers. I just watched My Bloody Valentine for the first time yesterday, which was great.
I love that's one of my favorites, man.
Okay.
It is now one of my favorites. That is how you do it. It follows the slasher formula to a T, but it's doing it so well.
Yeah, I agree. I love it, man. Did you see the unrated version or the rated version?
I think it was the unrated, yeah.
The unrated, that's a movie that is maybe just a little bit more than like a minute longer with the unrated one, but it makes all the difference in the world, man. Those like a couple extra seconds of gore has such a big impact. And that's a movie that they put out in a special edition of Blu-ray with an unrestored. It was unrated, but the scenes were unrestored, so you watch it and it looks great. And then when the scene was cut in the theatrical version, now you have like this sort of grainy scene, so you can very clearly see exactly what was added.
Yeah,
and it was really interesting to watch it that way.
Yeah, I hear the same thing about the release of Silent Night, Deadly Night. It like jumps from really good quality to potato quality with the restored scenes.
Oh, okay.
The is that true with the latest Scream Factory one?
I don't know, but that is what I've heard.
I remember watching that one over Christmas. I don't remember those scenes being jacked up, but
maybe that release restored those scenes too. I don't know.
I haven't seen that film in a long time. Like these are
classic, man.
Classic. But when I watched them, it was on like VHS, so like I'm not gonna get good quality anyway. So
that's the thing, man. Like when Scream Factory does like a big 4K restoration of like these movies, like they did Sleepaway Camp, and like when you watch Sleepaway Camp on VHS, they'll show like a silhouette in the doorway. You'll be like, wait, who is that killer? And when you watch the Blu-ray of it, it'll be like basically just a sort of a Ricky, the actor who played Ricky, in a wig, sort of standing in front of a doorway. You can clearly see it's him. It's not even like in silhouette. You're just like, that's just like, okay.
Sometimes restoration takes away from some things.
Yeah, that is true. With My Bloody Valentine, though, I don't think so. I actually got the collector's edition where they restored even those cutscenes, and I was going to watch that one, but I ended up watching the remake on Saturday night, and then on Sunday night, I ended up watching a movie called Picnic at Hanging Rock. Have you guys heard of that one?
I've heard of that. I've heard it's pretty twisted, but I haven't seen it.
It's an old 70s Australian movie that some people call horror, but it's kind of more of a period drama piece. It's a kind of cool movie, but I don't know that I would call it horror, and I would not watch it unless you're in the mood to watch a sort of slow-paced drama.
Okay.
And it's
I can do that sometimes.
Just this is not a spoiler warning. This is just a warning. It's basically an unresolved mystery. So if you watch a movie with a mysterious thing that you never want explained at all, that's a good one for you.
All right.
But if that's gonna bug the shit out of you, then you may not want to even start it.
I'm weird about that because certain things I'm like, this needs to be explained. They need to follow through with this. But then with other things, I get pissed off if they do explain it. It really depends on the movie.
It depends on how they leave it too, because like some movies you don't want everything explained, but you want enough explained that there's a resolution of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. I reviewed a movie a while back. Crap, what was it called? I'm blanking on the name all of a sudden. Give me a sec. You say whatever.
Howling the Marsupials.
I did also review that movie. I love it. I love that
one too. That's a shitty movie that I really like.
Yeah, really. No, I don't remember liking it. I watched that and I was like, God.
I mean, their dedication to the kangaroo wolf thing is great.
It's based on a thylacine, which is a real actual creature that went extinct in the 1900s in Australia.
When you're coming from Howling and Howling 2, with Sybil Danning, and you're watching Howling 3, it's just like.
But here's the thing:
it's just going downhill.
It's actually uphill after Howling 2 is the thing. Like how you watch Howling, you're like, that's a badass werewolf
Yeah.
movie. And then you watch Howling 2 and you're like, how many times are they going to show her tits in this goddamn end credit scene?
Hey.
Sybil Danning
Sybil
didn't
Danning
know
is-
about that until she watched the movie, and most people didn't. It was just a trigger-happy editor.
It's the craziest fucking thing you'll ever see. I'm surprised they didn't put like a spring sound effect. Boing, boing. It's like so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But part 3 was weird and interesting compared to that one, I thought.
Yeah. I liked the second one just because of the weird mixture. I love seeing Christopher Lee being this refined British Gothic horror actor walking into like this new wave club in the middle of the film. It's just this weird juxtaposition.
All talking about Aussie movie called Snowtown. That is a disturbing movie. There's those Aussies cannot make a movie without killing a goddamn dog in it. Like every Australian horror movie has like at least one dog death in it. And that one has one. But it was pretty good based on a true story. But if you want to see Australian horror movie / thriller, I guess, that's based on a true story, check out Hounds of Love. That was a really good one. Also, a disturbing scene in that. But really like interesting, really good made, well made movie about a serial killer couple. And Loved Ones was great. Loved Ones also has a goddamn dog that gets killed.
Loved Ones, the Loved Ones.
Well, that one has that one's a weird dog death because they don't show exactly like the dog die. They show like the dog die in the aftermath of it. But it's also like a kind of a thing like, you guys didn't need to do that. Yeah, it's an awesome movie, dude. I love the Loved Ones.
Okay. Yeah. The Loved Ones.
I haven't even opened this thing yet. Zachary Haith sent it to me, but I haven't watched it yet. I think I'm gonna love it.
It's great, man. It's pretty brutal, but it's a good one. It's a good one. I recommend it for sure.
Okay. So
I'll be back in one moment, y'all.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'm probably gonna have to jump off soon. I still haven't done those chores yet, but I'm gonna stick around for a few minutes longer.
Yeah. We'll wait till you get back, and then we'll call it a stream, I guess. Does that sound good? So you can do your chores.
Yeah, I still need to do my chores.
All right, sure. And well, I mean, the stream says Genome presents Dracula has risen from the grave. So
yeah,
I guess we can bring it back to Dracula. Or
yeah, we can, or Ben can just edit the title later.
Right. We talk about what various horror film talk or something. Yeah. So, all right. What do we got? How many movies do we have left? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have about five films left. So.
Only 5. Wow, I thought there were more.
No, we have Dracula. We still have Scars of Dracula, Dracula AD, Taste the Blood of Dracula, and Satanic Rites.
Taste the Blood is next, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Awesome.
Taste the Blood is 1970. Yes, and this one is 1968. Yeah. So yeah, we're on our way. We're yeah. All right, sounds good though.
The fact that the franchise, the Hammer Dracula franchise, was going on throughout 3 different decades still kind of blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was still great in all of them.
Yeah.
3 different. He didn't age it like a bit.
Well, that's the thing. He's been drinking all that blood, of course. Of course, he hasn't aged.
Well, I meant the actual Christopher Lee. He's still.
Who do you think I meant? He's been drinking all that blood, and that's how he stayed so young.
On a strict blood diet. I'm pretty sure. All blood all the time. I agree with Creepy Cody. Thor was amazing in Bad Moon. Bad Moon. One of the greatest practical werewolves ever made. Really cool looking. I love that one. And the distinction of having one of the best practical werewolves, one of the worst digital werewolf transformations. It's a pretty impressive thing that they have that kind of range.
Yeah.
What did I miss? We were talking about the
yeah, we were just talking about the Hammer films.
We jumped back to Hammer for a sec, but I realized the name of the movie I was going to bring up when we were talking about over-explaining and under-explaining. It's a movie called Occupied, and it's just this woman who's sent to babysit this girl in a cabin in the woods because that's always going to end well. And she's got like some serious mental issues, and she's like always writing in her diary, and it shows you like these really brief flashes of what's in her diary, but it's so brief that you never really know why she's freaking out at all. And if they had explained it a little bit more, the movie might have hit harder, but it's just kind of depressing with no real understanding of why any of what's happening is happening. So it just didn't work.
Okay.
I've definitely seen movies like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we will pick this up. I sort of heard you from the other room talking about that this was called something that it totally wasn't.
Yeah.
But I had fun hanging out with you guys nonetheless.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was a fun conversation. We had a pretty lively chat, so it was cool having those guys there too. I'm not sure who's left. I know Paul and Creepy Cody are still there. Probably Casey's lurking. Derek may be there. David Lynch, he says, by the way, I missed this while I was gone. David Lynch should never be explained. I buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he refuses to be explained.
I think he is virtually inexplicable.
For sure.
But yeah, I guess you guys probably want to get going. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. We'll get in touch with Dave and see if we want to pick this up back Thursday. Does that sound good for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty easygoing, I think. I finished all my projects at work, so I'm just sort of waiting for shit to come in now. So I'm just going to be hanging out. I think Thursday probably will work for me.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, great stream with you guys. I'm glad we got to hang out, even though we didn't get to watch the movie or hang out with David, but we'll do that later.
Yeah, we should do this again.
Absolutely.
Again.
Yeah, and like I was saying, Derek's saying he still lurks. Yeah, Casey's still here. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us too, guys in the chat.
All right, take care.
And a goodbye, y'all. If I can
Bye-bye.
end the broadcast.
Bye, everybody.